Hello and welcome to the video I made showing the CAMaster Stinger 1. Show you a little bit of the jogging. I'm using a Logitech, I believe it's a 410 remote with a program called xPadder. This is fantastic for a little controller. Right now I will send it over here to the rear corner where it doesn't bother me. In case I usually have to do some work stuff or whatever, obviously I could jog it any way I wish. And when I put it way over in the corner, it's not a problem with interfering with my monitor. One of the first things I assembled, a little step router thing, and I engraved the names nice and neatly there. Comes in handy. Here's a wider look at the CAMaster and of course the lights that I put in. I put in 4 LED tubes, 22 watt, so it's nice and bright. I like everything being like Walmart lights in the middle of the night. As you see, there's a huge space on the right side. Reason being is this thing actually goes out way outside of the bed. Most likely it's for changing of tools and everything, but I plan to take out this bottom piece and mount some type of a vise or clamp assembly that will hold a vertical piece, so I could basically create a box joint of any type using the router, pre-programmed and very precise. If you'll notice, the vacuum, obviously it's a custom dust shoe that I made for this. This is the original dust shoe that came with the CAMaster. It's bolted to the router mount. The other one was very impractical to change and to adjust, so I created my own. As you see, the vacuum goes into this hole up here. So it consists of 4 pieces of MDF. One is on the top, which butts up against the mount. There are 4 pre-tapped holes from the old mount underneath, and that's what I use to attach these 3 sandwiched MDF boards. This one has a hole here, but it's solid over here. These 2 basically have a cavity from here all the way up to here. So in essence, the air flows this way. One of the convenient things about this is that I use earth magnets to hold my dust shoe on. As you can see, the dust shoe is just nothing more than a simple donut with the McMaster car type brushes on the side. In case I have a longer bit, I of course have a longer one of these, which very quickly and easily drops right in place. I don't have an issue at all with it falling off. There's the third with the even longer brushes. This is the next feature. This is not a zero touch plate, this is actually a tool touch plate. And when I change tools, it's probably the single most convenient feature on this machine. One of the things you'll notice is that I added an eliminator chuck. This is probably one of the most useful tools I have. I've never had any runoff, and I don't have to do anything more than hand tight. It's a fantastic little tool. While some people enjoy the paper method, I just simply click a button, and there we are. My top is zeroed out. Whether I use the surface of the spoil board or the surface of the project, it's good to go. Another wonderful feature is the laser. I simply click it on here in Mach 3, and you may be able to see that laser, which I position over my 0. Let's say I want my 0 on the piece to be right there. I click on laser X0, Y0, and a small macro will actually realign the 0 with my bit and turn off the laser. Now here's a closer look at the unit itself. You have the Z gantry. The Z operates by lead screw. And you have two slides, one on either side, here on the other side of these wonderfully beefy aluminum straps. On top here you have the limit switch, the laser that I showed you earlier, Z motor, nice little cable management system, and of course the X travel or Y travel, whichever one you want to call it, is by Rack and Pinion. Here's the limit switch on the Rack and Pinion. I'll show you as it goes forward, backward. It's on two slides. Let me take this off for you real quick to show you what the gantry is made of. As you can see, you're looking at probably 1/4 inch nice big beefy aluminum box, and the gantry itself is run from a single drive. Let me see if you can see that underneath. That yellow base itself is something you definitely do not want to drop on your foot. It has 3 of these tubes. Along the 2 outer tubes you'll see the rack and slides. Around the middle tube you'll see the Rack and Pinion track. This controller box has a magnificent design. It's hinged. It's a beautiful thing. I really like the nice touch of them putting my name on the power supply. This is a 3-drive controller. These 3 drive the motors. Up here we have the inputs like the e-stop and certain things like the touch plate and the side tool changer. You have the outputs here. The controller box's fan is on the side here, and there's a filtered intake port on the bottom. Now, I didn't want any dust getting in here, or as little as possible. So what I actually did was I created a seal all the way around the bottom and around the top. So there's a hole underneath the table of which the air goes in. Doesn't matter if the air comes out on this side in the enclosure, because actually the vacuum itself creates a negative pressure inside the enclosure. So it's actually assisting the flow through the controller. Thank you for listening. I'll stop here if you have any questions before I show you the operation and a little sample piece, if you like.